All right, welcome back, my happy campers. Okay, here's the plan, our demographics unit. I think with 2 more videos, we'll be ready for the test. We're going to do 2 more videos, a worksheet, and a test. So let's get started. All right. Okay. First thing, go to your respective classes to the classwork page, and go down to resources, demographics, lesson 5, and open party and ideology chart. Party and ideology chart. All right, there we go. All right, let's get some terminology down. So, the liberals are on the left. Conservatives are on the right. You'll hear people talking about the left and the right. Where does that come from? It comes from the French Revolution, where the National Assembly that was elected after they chopped the king's head off, even before they chopped the king's head off and the queen's head off, the crazy Jacobins, the really radical people, they sat in the left-hand seats. So as you walk into the House of Representatives or the Senate, you will walk down, in the middle of it is the aisle. And on the left will be the Democrats, and on the right will be the Republicans. Same thing in the Senate. If a Democrat votes for a Republican bill, it is said that he crossed the aisle. He crossed the aisle. All right, people in the middle, moderates, center. Okay, so the Democratic Party is on the left. The color of the Democratic Party is blue. Hey, I'm going to test you on this. Their mascot is the... No, not the jackass. I may be a jackass, but their mascot is the donkey. It's the donkey, right? Okay, the Republicans, conservative. Now, libertarians, most libertarians are part of the Republican Party. There is a Libertarian Party that doesn't have very many members. Most people that are thinking that they're libertarian are still probably Republicans. Republican Party is the conservative party. Its color is red. Its mascot is the elephant. And the Republican Party has a nickname, the Grand Ole Party. The Grand Ole Party that you'll see written the GOP. All right, everybody got it? Okay. Now how do I get... Oh, here we go. So you guys, by now... Is this it? All right, back to notes. You guys, by now, should be kind of experts on this after having watched, gone through Political Compass and watched the Lamana videos. Here's how I would write these notes down. If I were you, I would write these in my notes. Military spending, I would write these down. By the way, this is why I record my videos, so you can like pause it and write these down in a list. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you say liberal and conservative, all right? So, all right, so write those down. Military spending, liberals, no. Conservatives, yes, right? Peace through strength. Use of force in military actions. You know, this is an interesting one. They say that the Republicans are more likely to do it. Democrats are less likely to do it. All right, let's go through our wars. Iraq and Afghanistan, George W. Bush, Republican. Gulf War, George Herbert Walker Bush, his dad, Republican. Vietnam War, clearly Democrats. I don't know. But that's what they say. Abortion. Liberals. Yes. Conservatives. No. Pro-choice, pro-life, right? Prayer in schools, liberals, no. Separation of church and state. Prayer in schools, no. A more accommodationist approach. We're going to talk about that later. This is a very conservative people, believe in prayer in school. Affirmative action. What is affirmative action? The best example of affirmative action that relates to you guys in the future is Bakke, the case of Bakke, where Mr. Mr. Dalpiaz, come and do a cameo appearance. We have Mr. Dalpiaz coming in to say hi to you guys. So,
Wow.
Mr. Dalpiaz, what is affirmative action?
What is affirmative action?
Come on, you gotta come in where you gotta come in where...
Do I have
there
to
you-
be visible?
Okay, so the screen goes from right here over to that black line. So what is
Okay.
affirmative action?
What is affirmative action? It's actions that is affirmative.
That is exactly right. Spoken like a true biologist.
I
All
don't
of
want to
his-
interfere with your
All of his
lecture,
jokes,
Mr.
by the way, are rotten.
I would confuse them.
Beautiful. Affirmative action. So, affirmative action is giving minority groups a leg up temporarily until they catch up. For example, in Baki, AP kids, you're going to have to know Baki. But in Baki, the University of Berkeley looked at their community and said, you know what, we're 17% minority, we're going to reserve 17% of classes for minority students. And I forgot to turn on my timer. Supreme Court said no quotas, although you can use racial diversity, race as a factor in achieving diversity on your campus. So, giving minority students, what was the problem in Baki? Baki was a white guy, and he took the SAT, and he got a higher score on the SAT than some of the kids that were admitted, and he said, you are discriminating against me on the basis of? On the basis of race, right? And that is arguably unconstitutional, right? AP kids, we're going to get deeply into this topic of whether you can discriminate on the basis of race. All right. Affirmative action. Liberals say yes. Conservatives say no. Economic, scope of government. Liberals want it big, right? Conservatives want it small. Taxes. Liberals want the rich to be taxed. Conservatives do not want the rich to be taxed. Liberals want the rich to be taxed so they can spend money on the poor. So they want more money. Income and wealth redistribution, okay, which the conservatives say is un-American. Un-American. You should get your money through the American dream, right? Okay, how to cut crime. Who is going to be more interested in rehabilitation programs and that kind of thing? Liberals. Conservatives are going to be like, lock them up and throw away the key. Defendants' rights, your right to remain silent, the right to not be searched except when the police have probable cause. Guilty people going free because the government hasn't proved their case. The conservatives and liberals are on opposite sides of that. All right, you guys got it? Okay, hold on. I'm going to look at the camera because I forgot to set my timer, and I don't know if this thing has a clicker. It does, a timer, 8 minutes. So I'm going to put 9. 30 minus 9 is what? 30 minus 9 is what, 21? All right, I'm going to set this for 21. Okay, all right. Aren't you guys happy that my camera will only record for a half hour? Now, you have to admit, don't tell other teachers, but you know, I don't talk for 70 minutes, right? Okay. Okay, let's keep going. All right, now, young people are more liberal than old people. Young people are more liberal than old people. Look at this. Pause and look at this chart for a second. Pause and look for the chart, all right? Okay, young people self-identify as liberal more than old people. Young people self-identify as moderate a little bit more than old people, and old people identify as conservative. So remember what Winston Churchill says: if you're not a liberal when you're young, you don't have a heart, and if you're not a conservative when you're old, you don't have a brain. All right, abortion. Young people in favor. Same-sex couples. This is from 2008. Just over the years, I've seen a shift. This is going to be way higher than this, right? It's going to be way higher than 60% right now among young people, and maybe among all people. Environment protection. These things all make sense, right? The young people are more engaged in this stuff. Environmental protection, gun control even, interesting. Spending money on the military, old people want it more because they don't die when there's a war. Who dies when there's a war? These guys die. Oppose investing in Social Security. That's a conservative idea, and young people are not for it. All right, so, but, and I have, what, 3 questions on my test on this? So wait, I forgot. So this is a graph of Obama's approval ratings in May 2012. When was his re-election going to be? The first Tuesday after the Monday in November of 2012. So this was what? June, July, August, September, October. This was 6 months before the election. By the way, interestingly, was Obama upside down among all age groups? Was he under 50 with everybody 6 months before the election? The answer is yes. Now, since young people don't vote, correct? I've shown you the data. Young people don't vote. This would suck if you were Obama, because you're like, the people that support me don't bother to come out to vote. All right. By the way, did he win? Yes, he won pretty comfortably by 2%, like 52 to 48 over Romney. Should this make Trump feel good? Look at Obama was upside down in the polls 6 months before, and he won. Can Trump win even though he's upside down in the polls? The answer is yes. But for this class, notice that the Democrat, Obama, most of his highest support came from young people. Highest support came from young people. All right, are we good? Okay. So, young people tend to be more liberal than old people, particularly on what kind of issues? Starting with an S. Starting with an S. What's the word? Starts with an S. Are you writing it down? Pause if you're thinking of it. You got it? Particularly on social issues, like what? Abortion, gay marriage, birth control, transgender issues. But circle this, because I have 3 questions on my test on this, I think. But there is this concept of political socialization. How are values learned and passed to the next generation? And guess what? The biggest impact is on young people. Guess what their biggest influence is? What's the biggest influence? Now, at this point, if it was a live class, I would ask everybody to raise their hand whose political ideology was different than one or both parents. Whose political ideology was different than one or both parents. And I would get, I don't know, 5 or 6 hands up. So, the biggest influence is your parents. The biggest influence on how you learn your political views is on your parents. You know, then some people go off to college and they get more liberal, or they hang around their friends and they get more liberal, but this is clearly the biggest influence. If you had to ask one thing about a young person to see what their political views were, you would ask, what party do your parents belong to? Are they active? You know, are they liberal? Are they conservative? Are they Democrat, Republican? All right. Okay. This is the heart and soul of the lesson. This is the heart and soul of the lesson. So now we are going to look at how people vote. We're going to look at how people vote. You know that Republicans are conservative. You know that Democrats are liberal. Okay, so This was Obama's election in 2012. Now, Obama won, so this chart is read democratically. If you want to know the Republicans, then just subtract this number from 100, because there really wasn't a significant third-party candidate draining off votes in 2012. There was in 2016. All right, so who voted for Obama? Who votes Democrat? Women or men? The answer is women. Write this down. This is on, dog's barking. This is on my test, all right? This is called the gender gap. This is called the gender gap. What is the gender gap? The gender gap is women tend to vote Democrat. Well, by how much? What was the gender gap in 2012? And what I say it is, and what you need to learn how to talk, especially UAP people, the gender gap was 10 points. What do I mean 10 points? Okay, if women voted 55 Democrat, and that means that they voted how much Republican? That means that they voted 45% Republican. And the point spread is 10 points. All right, so in 2012, the gender gap was 10 points. Was 10 points. All right. Okay, men. Interesting. Men vote Republican, right? Okay, who voted Democrat, young or old? Clearly, young people, right? Old people voted Republican. And the older they got, the more they voted Republican. This is crazy, right? Whites or minorities? Whites, Hispanics, Asians, and African Americans. Boy, did white people vote for Trump? Yes, white people voted for Trump. 61% of voters voted for Trump. And I'm sorry, not Trump. This isn't 2016 data. This is 2012. Romney was the Republican, but 61% of whites voted for Romney, right? 61. Who votes Democrat, rich or poor? Here are the poor people, and then here are the rich people, right? People making more money. So, and by religion, who voted Democrat? Atheists were people that are non-religious. Interesting. Jewish people, heavily. Catholics, 50-50. But, you know, if you think of Catholics, they're probably, you know, half of them are Hispanic and half of them are non-Hispanic. Then you come up to here and you look at this number. 71% of Hispanics voted for Obama. And that probably means, you know, you'd have to divide this into Hispanic Catholics and non-Hispanic Catholics. But, and then Protestants voted Republican. A subset of Protestants are evangelical, born-again Christians, and they voted overwhelmingly Republican, like 80%. All right? Okay. Now, you're like, wait a minute, this was 8 years ago. This is old data. I don't know, is this a trend? Does this happen all the time? Well, let's look at what happened with Trump-Clinton. Okay. Clinton won women by 54%. Oh boy, was she upset by that. And you know who she lost? She lost young women. And the old women were like so frustrated at young women. They're like, doggone it. You guys, you know, we did all this work to get you guys equality and then you don't vote for a woman. Anyway. So was there a gender gap? It dropped by a point, but was it still there? Yes. Did young people still vote Democrat? Yes. Oh, but she lost a little chunk, right? She lost a little chunk. Significant drop-off, but still Hispanics are favoring Democrats, but a significant drop-off, right? Drop-off among African Americans. Only 4 points, only 5 points, but you know, that is a drop-off. Clinton. What happened? Poor people, especially white male white male high school graduates. There was a shift. This is what's called a shift election. There was a shift election when Reagan was elected. They called them Reagan Democrats. Democrats like union members and low-wage people that typically would vote Democrat, especially white males that decided to vote Republican. Same thing happened with Trump. Same thing was happened with Trump. All right. Okay. Clinton lost a little bit more of the white vote. Okay, so who is the Democratic Coalition? The Democratic Voting Coalition. Who are they? Who are they? You must write this down. Who votes Democrat? Women, young, minorities, poor. Women, young, minorities, poor. Boy, why did Obama pick Kamala Harris to be his VP? Does it have anything to do with the Democratic coalition? All right. Who is the Republican coalition? All right, if this is hard to figure out, you just look at me. What am I? Yes, I get it. I'm old, right? I'm an old white guy, right? I'm an old white guy. All right, well, how are we doing? So we're going to look at the people that didn't vote Democrat. Guy, old, white, rich, Protestant. There you go. Old, rich, white guys. Old, rich, white guys is the Republican coalition. All right? So you must know that by heart for my test. You must know that by heart for my test. Boy, doesn't it drive everything that's going on, though? Doesn't it drive everything? Okay, let's look at some data. Let's look at some data. I'm going to look at my clock to see how much time I have left. Hold on. What's going on? Where's my clock? All right, we got enough time to go through these. Okay, so here is Rust Belt whites. By the way, what's the Rust Belt? I can't show you my map. The Rust Belt is Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Western Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan. Those industrial areas that lost a whole bunch of jobs in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And then people moved down into the Southwest called the Sun Belt. So, Rust Belt whites, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. How did Romney do in 2012 versus Trump in 2016? In other words, did Trump, was he more successful in pulling away Rust Belt whites, no college degree, high school white guys, well, both sexes, but high school whites, right? High school whites. And Trump did really well with them, right? Up 10 points in Wisconsin, up 7 points in Michigan, up 8 points, up 6 points. So this was why 2016 was a shift election, because people that you would be expecting to vote Democrat shifted about 10 points. Is this a big demographic group, Rust Belt whites, no college degree? Ms. Roberts.
Yes.
We have another possible cameo visit. Would you like to come in and
Sure.
admire our fantastic data on Rust Belt whites with no college degree? Look what happened. Look what Trump did. From 2012 to 2016. That is a major shift, right?
Yeah, it is.
That is a major shift of old, white, grumpy high school guys that say, we want to vote for Trump, right?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
Well, that's
All right.
his base, right? Middle America.
That's the base, AP, all of you guys, next lesson, we're gonna talk about the base. That's a beautiful, what's the base?
The base. That's your voter pool. That's the basis of your voting pool.
Which is, I was gonna put this in my slide, but I did not, is really the same thing I'm talking about, the Democratic Coalition. That is a synonym for the base. For the base. And you guys, speak through the camera. What's the Democratic base? All right, they got it, they got it.
See, I taught you something.
You're beautiful. Okay, here we go. Some more data. What's this? Trump and GOP exit polls support among women. What two elections? 2016, which was presidential or midterm? Presidential, when Trump was elected. And then 2 years later, there was a midterm in which it was only the House of Representatives. How much? All. And 1/3 of the Senate. So, what happened to Trump's support among women? By the way, was there the gender gap? Did he lose women? Yes, but he lost women even a little bit more. And he dropped off with white women. Ooh, white women live where? White women live in the suburbs, right? White non-college women. Boy, interesting, right? White college women and women who register as independents. So, I don't know, is that true? Has he lost support among women? Are some of his behavior patterns things that women don't like? We'll see in 2020, all right? This is a danger sign for him. All right. Women. All right, this is a poll from when? From July 18, this is back in July of 2016, right? July of 2016, and then July of 2020. Is this scary news for Trump? So, in July 2016, women in Arizona were for Clinton by a +4. In July, they're up for Biden a +17. Florida +4 to Biden +11. Michigan +11 to what? +29. Interesting. So that's the gender gap. Maybe on steroids in 2020? Who knows? All right. What's this one? White college graduates. Choice for president. Wow, so interesting. In Arizona, Trump won white women college graduates by 6 points. In this poll, he shows down 15, right? Similar sweeps. These women live where? They live in where? Rural, or suburban? This is the suburbs, baby, right? This is the suburbs. This is dangerous data for Trump. All right. Okay. That's the end of this video. We're going to crank through the next video, and it should be maybe the last. And then you're going to do a worksheet, and then I'm going to give you a study guide for the test, and then you're going to take this super secure timed test. All right. So, awesome.